Hi, welcome to another episode of Lightbulbs with Natasha. We are here at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel. I'm here with Vivian Campbell from Vivian Campbell Consulting. She is an author, speaker, and a trainer. And she has been so gracious to give us her time today to be here with us. And we're going to learn a lot from her. I'm super excited.
Oh,
and thank you so much for being here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm very excited.
Yeah, and we're here at a very iconic hotel.
Yes.
And two, we're here at a hotel that you've consulted for, and you've been a part of this for a few years now. And
yes, I love it. They are one of my best clients. They've called me back for different things. I think I've been coming here since 2019. Wow. And it's amazing to be here at the very iconic Hollywood Roosevelt. I don't know if you know, but the very first Academy Awards were held here at the hotel.
I did not know that.
Right on this level across in the Blossom Ballroom. They were held here.
Yes. That is so cool. I mean, I don't even know what year that was, but
it was in 1927.
1927.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, we're in like a royalty place here.
Yes, we
Remember
are.
Old Hollywood?
Old Hollywood
was the best.
It was. Sometimes I think I was born in the wrong era. Even Marilyn Monroe lived here for 2 years.
I know. I want to see
out
where.
in the cabanas out by the historic pool. So
that's amazing.
It's great.
So cool.
A lot of history here.
There is so much history here. I mean, we were walking by and I just forget how iconic boulevard is. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at the stars. I don't, you grew up in LA, but you don't really see all of it, or it just becomes, we'll go. You only go when you have family in town or somebody, but it's amazing to just be here. The energy is very different for sure.
It is great. While working here, sometimes we'll run out just to get some vitamin D, right? Just to get some sun. And you'll walk by and you'll look down and you'll see the different stars and you'll think, oh yeah. And you put a little smile on your face, oh yes, I love him. I love her. Or sometimes when you're in a rush, you're walking and all the tourists, they've stopped traffic because they're taking picture of.
You just see everyone huddled up to somebody.
Right.
Yeah.
So it has its pros and its cons. It's all good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, being here when you were consulting here, which were for a few years, I mean, I'm sure you see a lot of everything, right? I mean, to be in a place in Hollywood.
Absolutely.
And you see a bunch of people, a bunch of different types of personalities. And I mean, it's just got to be.
You see a little bit of everything here because it's a touristy place, right? Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to come to Hollywood Boulevard, and there are also a lot of people who want to come to the Hollywood Roosevelt.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was excited.
Yes.
Like, what?
Okay, great.
Come here, yes.
Great. It's beautiful here.
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to mention that I think it was so lovely how everyone here was so sweet, and everyone knew what was going on, which I loved. Even just from the valet, but. I loved seeing more how everyone welcomed you and they were like, hi, Vivian. And it was so amazing. So, I mean, I think that says a lot about what you're like, how you are as a leader. And I thought it was really beautiful. And I wanted to highlight that everyone was so excited to see you again.
Thank you. It warms my heart. It was so great watching everybody come in and give hugs and it's awesome because I think I was here, just like a few months ago.
Right? I'm like, oh man. And I think I said, when's the last time you were here?
Right.
You were like a few months ago. And I'm like, it seems like they haven't seen you in years.
I know.
Like, yes,
welcome. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it was so great.
So that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight that. So,
Thank you.
And like I said, that would say a lot about who you are and how you treat people. I mean, you're in a business where you're working with a lot of people. You work with every department pretty much, right?
Absolutely. Every department in the hotel. When you're talking about, I come in and I do hospitality training. It's all about customer service. And I always stress when I'm doing the trainings, because sometimes we're doing it department by department by department, right? Because of scheduling reasons. And if you train one department on how we're going to do something, it's not going to work for the hotel if only one department knows how to do it.
Right.
You have to get to everybody on site so that as all of the guests come in, they experience the same level of service no matter where they go in the hotel.
Yeah. And I've so far have felt that from
Awesome.
valet, from concierge, and security. Security.
Yes.
Get to talk about their style, by the way.
Yes.
Shout out.
They are on point. Yes, they are.
But so explain to me a little bit about, well, you do a lot. So when a hotel like, you know, this beautiful hotel brings you on, what is it exactly that you do?
Sure. So with any of my clients, I can be called in to do several things. One, I get called in on pre-opening. So for a brand new hotel, I will come in and I will help with ordering all of their operating supplies and equipment. So everything from chairs to tables to linens, china, glass, silver, anything you can think of, even all the utensils that go in the kitchen, all the cleaning equipment, anything that you can imagine will be used in a hotel. That's part of what we call OS&E, or operating supplies and equipment, that must be ordered and must be there in order for the hotel to open. I also assist in all of the recruitment, making sure that we have somebody for every position in order to open the hotel. Once the hotel is open, I've gone in and I've done all of the standard operating procedures. We call those SOPs. And that really tells you how you're going to do your job. SOPs are very, very important. And you'd be surprised at how many hotels do not have their SOPs. I also take care of job descriptions because it's very important for everyone to understand, what does my job entail?
Yeah.
What am I responsible for? What are my responsibilities? And lastly, I get called in to be the fixer. So when a hotel is having a problem in a certain area, I get called in to come in and assess the situation, find out really what's going on, and make recommendations for taking care of the issue, whatever it is. It might be a simple process. Unfortunately, it might be a person. Whatever it is, I'll make the recommendations, and either the client will take care of it or I can implement and clean it up. So whatever they need.
The fixer.
Yes, the fixer.
Is that on your business card by any chance?
I'm thinking about putting it on there.
I'm not going to lie. That would be pretty cool.
Yes,
I mean,
right?
the second that you give me a business
Just
card,
to
I'm like,
hand
the
the
fixer.
card.
I'm like,
The fixer.
yeah, can you fix my family?
Right
kidding.
now,
I love
I'm
them. I'm
focused
kidding.
in businesses and hotels, not families just
No.
yet.
All right, just this.
Yes.
Well, that's really, really amazing. Now, let's backtrack a little bit because I definitely want to know how you got to here.
Okay.
But in order to find that out, got to go back in time.
Okay.
So first of all, where are you from?
Born and raised right here in sunny, beautiful Los Angeles, California.
LA
And so
native,
proud of that.
Where we're so spoiled with this weather that any
Yes.
drops of rain we're not happy about.
Even when it's a little cold, you'll find
we're not.
when it's a little cold, you'll see the natives. We're in UGG boots and jackets.
We're in these
People
big,
are looking
fluffy
at us like,
jackets.
"What are you doing?"
I have family in Chicago and they were here and they were just like, this is summer for us. And I'm like, so we are very spoiled.
Yes,
So
yes.
you were born here in LA and what was growing up like for you here?
I remember my childhood being a lot of fun. I, believe it or not, I started working at a very early age. And it's only because my next door neighbor told me about this opportunity. I started teaching swimming when I was super young. And I just thought it was really cool to do.
Yeah.
I know how to swim. You want me to teach you how to swim and I'm going to get paid and now I have all this money. I just thought it was great. And so believe it or not, I've always been tall in stature, so I think I looked a little bit older than I really was. But I started working when I was 11 years old and I was teaching swimming and it was so much fun and it was great and I was really good at it. I specialized in people with fear. So whether you were a kid or an adult and you were so afraid of the water, I was actually very calming, and I could get you to learn how to swim.
Oh,
Yeah,
at
it was great.
11.
It was
You were
awesome.
11 teaching other kids how to swim?
Absolutely. It was so much
Wow.
fun.
Do you ever get any adults saying, "Can you teach me?"
Absolutely. And I
Really?
did. And it was great. I don't know why people find my voice sometimes. I hope you're finding it very calming. But they said I have a
Absolutely.
very calming voice, and just explaining the process. And I think maybe that also helps me with being a trainer, but just really explaining the process of what's about to happen. And when we do this and when we do that, you'll relax and we'll be fine. And there's no need to panic, and we'll be able to swim wherever we need to go. It was great. I loved
Yeah,
it.
that already sounds calming.
It was
That's
great.
yeah, and there
loved
is
it.
there definitely is a calming, soothing tone to the voice for sure. I'm like,
All right.
this is gonna sound really cool. You have like a radio voice. You could totally
Yes,
do it.
I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
So this is fun. I'm having fun right now.
So 11, teaching how to swim, getting paid for it, which
Yes.
must have felt like, yeah, okay. So
was
you were,
great.
you started to make, your
I
own
had
money.
my own money.
Okay, so after that, what was the next job that you had after like swimming?
So believe it or not, a lot of the kids that I taught how to swim, their parents wanted me to be the babysitter. And so I never thought about babysitting. I'm like, why do I need to do this? And but since I already knew the families from the
makes it
swimming,
easier.
of course I went, I did babysitting, and the parents would tell me that the kids only wanted me there. They didn't want any other babysitter. And so the parents would say, "So what is it that you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
just
I don't know
cool.
why you guys keep calling me back. I'm making money. I could be hanging out with my friends, but you
Yeah.
guys keep calling me to come and babysit." So it's been
Yeah.
fun. It was great.
That is really
that's
cool.
what I did.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah, and here in LA, I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Yeah,
It
and
was
you get to
good.
hang out with your friends and you're making your own money. That's amazing. Okay. And so from there, what was like the first, official job where you had, a boss, where you had someone to report to? And what was that experience like stepping into now the real world,
workforce, right?
the real world where
I think I did accounting. I had a job at some company, and I was, I think, accounts payable or accounts receivable, something like that, and just had a lot of fun. It was a simple work. I didn't think any of it was hard, and I would come in and work and make friends and have fun and joke around and make more money and just had a good time. It was
Yeah.
very, very simple. It was
and I
great.
mean, accounting, that's really good because it teaches you about money as well. So do you think that was a great, stepping stone into it? Because as a business owner, you do need to know what you're doing when it comes to your finances.
Absolutely. I am so anal when it comes to finances. I was on Quicken before any of my friends, and I logged like all of my expenses, and I could run a report and tell you how much I spent on anything at any time. And
that
my
is
friends were like,
great.
"Are you crazy?" And then one of my best friends, he started doing it as well. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to get on Quicken." And then we would talk about our reports. How much did you spend in food last year? How much did you spend in shopping? So,
That is
so I think that might have been where I got that from, but just really being able to track all of my expenses. It was great.
That is so, yeah. I mean, I find that so important. I mean, I think that, and I get it. There's some people who will dive in and they try everything with their business. But the one thing that I am so certain on that any other business owner will tell you is that you need to know, or if you don't have to go to school and take a whole accounting course and
Right.
know everything, you need to have a base knowledge of it. And I mean, in your
Absolutely.
case, you knew how to track all of your, your
All my
profit and your
personal
losses.
Absolutely.
So that's so great because that's helping you till this day. It helps you all the rest of your life.
with everything that I do, personal and professional. So it is good. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I come from an accounting background, so when I hear that, I'm like, yes, you're on it.
Yes. Yes. When I do my taxes every year, I just print out the Quicken report.
You're my best
hand
client.
it.
You're
Yes.
the exact kind of client I want.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So, so from there, accounting, and where do you think it began where you started to really go? Because, if we talk about from accounting to hotels, that's a
Right.
big leap. So
Right.
when did it really start to shift for you? And when did that little bug start happening?
So you'll never believe this. So I went to school for math and computer science. I knew that computers were going to be everywhere in the world, and I thought, you know what? If you're involved in computers, you're going to be okay. And so, believe it or not, I used to design and develop software. That's literally where I started out. And I used to work for the number one payrolling service company in the entertainment industry. So they paid all the stars that you see on TV and at the theater. And then I was on the original design team for the location accounting software, so that when production goes on location to film a movie, this is the accounting software that they use. So that's literally what I went to school for and what I did. And while I was at the company, the owner had said, hey, we need some people to be on the committee to plan the company meetings and events. And of course, I'll do it. And so I was on this committee, and then I led the committee, and then I was running the committee, and I ran all of the events. And so I think this was really my first introduction into hospitality, doing meetings and events for the company.
Yeah.
And I was loving it. It was so much fun. And I decided, oh, I want to do this now. And so after, don't want to date myself too much, but after being in, designing and developing software for 13 years, I decided to change and go into event planning.
Okay.
And I started off at a restaurant, and then I ended up at Warner Brothers Studios planning events on the lot, which were amazing. And then someone who worked in a hotel who was married to the person at the restaurant said, my wife has told me so much about you. I want you to come and work at this hotel. And I said, are you kidding me? I'm at Warner Brothers Studios. Why would I want to go to your hotel?
Yeah.
And he hounded me until I applied. I went ahead, I applied, I got the job, and now I'm running the events at this hip happening hotel in West Hollywood for several years. I did every event you can imagine, every Oscar, Emmy, NBA All-Star, ESPY, every event you
Every
can
single thing
imagine,
we see on TV, you did it.
I did the event, and it was great. It was a lot of fun, and that was my first taste into hotels.
Okay.
And I've been in hotels ever since.
That's how it all happened.
That's how it all happened.
Oh my gosh, isn't it funny
Quite
how
the
it just
journey.
takes just like the what was it, the wife of the husband here that connected you, and
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
And so it didn't matter what my plan was. It just
life took its course. Like this was where you were meant to
Absolutely.
land.
yes. And it's been
Okay, so swimming instructor,
great.
babysitter, and then accounting, and then software developer.
Yep.
And then from there, event planning. And this led you to
Yes.
so then you were in event planning.
Yes.
And then from event planning, because you learned, I'm assuming that because you just saw the system of a hotel, when did you say, okay, I'm gonna now move in here?
When I was at my very first hotel, they had a train the trainer program. And so a trainer came down from corporate. She trained a small group of us to train on customer service. And of course I volunteered, and of course I fell in love. And next thing you knew, I wanted to work in corporate, and I wanted to be the trainer because I was having so much fun. And when you do that, everyone in the hotel knows you because you're the trainer. And so everyone in that hotel knew who I was because they had gone through a training that I did. And so even when we came here today, you saw people were coming up, oh, Vivian, I heard you were
everyone.
here. So number one, communication is good. They've communicated that we're doing this in the hotel today.
Yes.
And so then people were dropping in to say hello
So
and to
cute.
give a hug, right? So everybody knows you in the hotel when you're the one doing the training. You're the one in front of them. You're the one helping them become better at their jobs. You're the one answering all of their questions.
Yeah.
And so you build a rapport very quickly.
Is there someone that inspired you that you looked up to when you got into the hotel business that really, kind of shifted how you train or how you communicate? Is there anyone in the industry in general that inspired you?
I think it was really that very first person who came from corporate. She was dressed so nicely. She took us through the training, and I thought, I can do this. I don't know if people out there watch someone do something and then they think, I can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I thought, I'm going to train. Now, mind you, I'm still throwing amazing, Hollywood and entertainment parties, but I also get to train. And so then you tend to go where you find your love, right?
Right.
Like I've done every imaginable high profile event. I don't need to do that anymore. I'm okay. I'm good. Now I want to explore and do other things. And so the training and helping people, I found that if someone was struggling, I probably found a shortcut on how to do something quicker or more efficiently. And then I would share that. And then I saw that they were appreciative and I thought, ooh, I can help people.
Yeah.
And so I think just doing all of those things just kind of maybe guided and led me to where I am today.
Okay. And that person that inspired you, do you still have contact with them, or was that just a person that you saw at that time and you were just inspired by her really quick, and then, or did you guys ever connect in the future?
We did not. You know what I found in hospitality, people move and change a lot. And so I would often ask, where is this person now? Because she's no longer in the company, and people just move. And I didn't really understand that, I think, at the time.
Right.
I thought, oh, once you're there, because, you hear from like our parents and their parents, they would get a job, they would stay there for, 30 years and retire.
Not the same at these days
Not
anymore.
true,
Yeah.
and especially not in hospitality.
Hospitality
They're
is
moving
just constantly
hotel to hotel. They're moving all around.
Well, I mean, similar to you, you're, you stay here for a bit, but then you'll take on another client. And
True,
yeah, it's
true.
just kind of
As
the
a
same thing.
consultant,
As a consultant.
but someone who actually works for the hotel, you would
okay.
think that they might stay
Oh, I
with that hotel
understand.
for a long
Got it.
time, and it's like,
And
no,
it's not the case.
They're moving.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, that's good for me because when you move there, you might call me to come there. And then you move there,
Okay.
you might call me to come there. So now I think the moving is okay. But so, yes, I did lose track of her, but I still remember the image and thought,
You
I'm
still
going to do
can-
that.
you can still
Absolutely.
picture that.
She was
Oh,
wearing
that's so
a gray,
great.
very thin pinstripe suit. She looked,
Wow.
she was dressed to a T, and her training was great.
That's really beautiful because I feel like anyone out there, they've had similar experiences, even when they watch someone on a TED Talk or even when they watch someone, a podcast like this, I wouldn't be surprised if someone looks at you and says, I want her attitude. I want her, calmness. I want her communication. And I think I've had that many times in my life where I look at someone and I'm like, I really want that essence that she has. I really want that suit.
Exactly.
or
Exactly.
something.
Really.
But I think
Where
that's
did she
really
get that suit?
Yes. That's what
Yes.
I'm asking over here.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
where'd she get that suit?
Right.
But I think that's really, really beautiful that that was an inspiration for
Yes.
you in that moment. And so you're doing Hollywood events, everything, but you move into here. And then when was your company officially born?
Back in 2009, I was with a hotel, and my boss at the time had asked me to come to another hotel with him. I actually worked with him at 4 different hotels. We were a really good team. And so I was at a hotel, and I decided to come back to LA. I had actually moved out of state only for like
really?
15 months.
Oh.
I really love it here.
Okay.
And when I came back, I was asked to consult. And when I was at the hotel, another consultant was there, and she said, "You know what? Do you like consulting? Because I could use you." I said, "What are you talking about? You can't rely on consulting. That's not a permanent job. How will I pay my bills, right?" And I decided to take her up on it, right? To just take a risk and explore. And I remember being sent out to Virginia, Arlington, Virginia. And I was out there, and I somehow had mentioned to other colleagues that I was in the area. And they said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Oh, I'm consulting." And they said, "You are? What do you do? We could use you here."
Oh my goodness.
And so while my very first consulting gig was only 4 weeks long for somebody else, as soon as my colleague said, "We could use you here," I put together my contract, put together my company, and I went out on my own.
No way.
After only doing it for
4 weeks
for somebody else.
How did that feel? I mean, when you were consulting and you knew that you were just going to be there for 4 weeks, first of all, how did that feel to know that?
That was a little scary, but I thought, the company, they'll just keep sending me to different places. It's all cool, right?
Right.
You pay for my travel. I stay at the hotel.
Coasting.
This is going to be a cool gig. It's a little risky, but I'm willing to take the risk, and I'll do it. And while I was out there on the weekend, I met up with another colleague at a different hotel, and he said, "Let me talk to our director of HR. I think we can absolutely use you." And before the 4 weeks was over, I already had a gig with a signed contract. And from there, I thought, it was that easy? Oh, I can do this on my own.
You could do this.
And I've been doing it on my own ever since.
I mean, that's bold. That's a bold thing to do.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. So in between projects, I reach out to all my colleagues and I let them know, "Hey, I've just ended this amazing project. I'm now open. Let me know if you know of anything." And that's how I've been getting my gigs all along.
And it's just word of mouth. I mean, just referrals, people like what you did here. And so they go, "Oh, wow, she did a great job here." And that's just how it's taken over.
Right.
That is so cool.
So now, if we're really trying to help people, yes, you should probably have a business plan and a marketing plan. Yes, you should. Yes, I should. Not just you, me as well. But I have been very fortunate that different managing directors, different general managers, different positions in the hotel I can reach out to, and they'll let me know if there's a need in their property.
Well, yes, business planning it out.
Yes.
Then again, I mean, if you go back and if you would have taken that time to plan it out and to try to put, a plan to every single decision you were going to make on that, do you think it would have, how do you think it would have resulted? I mean, sometimes jumping in, I mean, the way you did, that was really bold and it paid off. I mean, do you think, what would it have been like if you had planned every single thing and done a business plan and taken that sweet time to do it?
I planned on working in computers because computers were the way of the future, and look where I am, right? So I can always plan, but my journey is just going to go where it's going to go. It already has a mind of its own. So
I mean, it's the gut feeling too. I think like in your gut, you think you trusted your gut in that moment and said, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my consulting now."
Absolutely. When I'm in between projects, I'll often have colleagues say, "Where are you now? Where are you now?" I said, "Oh, I don't know. Something will come up. I've got some proposals out. I've got some meetings next week." Oh no, what? Now I should take the time for me and do something, because when I get on a project, I'm in the project. I'm going to take care of, I'm going to fix, I'm going to take care of my client. So the time in between the projects is actually really good. Wow. So I'm enjoying it.
You have a very relaxed state of being. and it's really, really refreshing. And I need some of that.
you. Thank you.
I need some of that. I was saying earlier when we were getting here setting up, and they were like, "Oh, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm here, I'm over there." I'm like, I'm a little stressed sometimes, and I'm like, I need some of your energy.
I think that comes from doing operations and maybe doing like all of the events I've done. Like I've done events for 1,400 people. I've done events for 3,500 people. I was very fortunate to be a volunteer because I do believe in giving back to the community. And the Genesis Open is actually happening right now at the Riviera Country Club. Back in the day, it was called the Nissan Open.
Yeah.
And I was actually a part of the Nissan Open steering committee. And it takes back then, it took about 1,500 volunteers to put on the Nissan Open every day. And one year I was in charge of the 1,500 volunteers. Wow. So you can imagine there's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
I love that. I thrive in that.
Yeah.
That's why I love opening a hotel. There is so much going on, right? Did this come in? Did the bed comforters come in? Did the pillows come in? Did everything come in? What are we doing? Where's the master list? I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever gone to see a taping of a show, right?
Yeah, I have actually.
I love sitting in the audience and watching everybody behind the scene, watching everything happen. I love that.
Yeah.
So I thrive in that kind of atmosphere. And if something comes up, then we just figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, and something will always come up. I mean, I always say nothing's ever going to go to plan. I mean, nothing ever goes to plan, even when setting up. We're like, hey, can we have an extension cord, please?
No problem.
No problem. Yes. And so when you start to see maybe staff, right, staff that you're training, when you're starting to really notice or pick up their energy that they're getting nervous and they're getting anxious and the things aren't going right, what they look to you to first see if you're also anxious and if you're kind of losing it a little bit, but you don't. How do you transfer that energy into them when someone's like, Vivian, this didn't come in time. What are we going to do? How do you handle that situation?
Just problem solving. It's just figuring it out, really. Going up to somebody, and especially if they're a little anxious, on the floor. And when I say on the floor, I mean in front of other people. Getting off the floor, going behind the scenes and saying, hey, so what's going on? What's the problem? What do we need to do? And coming up with ideas. But also, I'm not the only one to come up with an idea. If anyone on the team has an idea, let's see if we can make it happen. It's never about I have the answer for everything. I can facilitate us getting an answer. And chances are I probably have a lot of answers, but it's only because I've been doing it for a long time. But always willing to hear what somebody on the team suggests. I love that. Because they might think of something that I haven't thought of, and now I have something else in my toolbox that I can use. So always willing to learn from other people. Basically, absolutely. You're
not the one with all the answers. Like, you might have the answers, but you're allowing someone to learn how to solve the problem as well. Because it's I can solve the problem for you, but you also want to teach them how to do it on their own next time, possibly, or how to just even approach it.
How to approach it. So, like, if there was an issue and maybe there weren't people around, right? Maybe we're setting up for something, and gathering everybody together and saying, okay, so here's the problem. What do you think we should do? Just putting everybody in that energy rather than, what went wrong? I can't believe. That's a very different energy. But keeping everybody inclusive and just being a team to figure something out changes the energy. It allows people to be creative and to participate. Something like that comes very easy to me. Like, it's not about yelling and pointing fingers.
Unfortunately, no, you see that more. Especially someone who comes into a leadership. And I don't necessarily like to call them leaders when they start doing that, because I think a leader is the complete opposite of the leader is what you do, right? But when someone comes in with this just authority with their head, with their chin up, and says like, and they go straight to finding who was wrong,
Who's responsible,
and
heads
who's
are gonna
responsible,
roll.
or pointing fingers and stuff like that. I'm not obviously not a fan of that, but that doesn't create a team. That doesn't build a team, and that doesn't give them the confidence either to even speak up.
Very true. And the other thing I tell teams all the time, if you made a mistake, just own it.
Yeah.
If you try and hide it or act like you didn't do it, that causes a bigger problem, because chances are everybody knows that maybe it was really you.
Yeah.
So if you just own it and say, okay, what are we going to do? Or just apologize and move on, it'll actually be forgotten.
Yeah. Have you ever
People
seen
don't
those?
realize that.
No, I know, right? Have you ever seen those videos where they'll film the two scenarios? They'll film the scenario of someone who's trying to hide the problem, trying to, basically
Pass the buck.
pass it, or trying to be like, well, did you ask them if they did it? Why do you go straight to asking me? And then they filmed the second scenario of someone just saying, you know what? I didn't pay attention to it. I honestly, my head wasn't in the game, and it won't happen again.
Right.
How it just cuts time in half,
It
too.
does.
It cuts other people's time in half, because I don't think people understand that when you make a mistake, it doesn't just affect you, it affects the whole team.
Right.
And you wrap everyone else into the problem. And then you got the other scenario when it's like, done. Move on to the next thing.
And people will gossip. And so if you try and hide it, and then everybody's talking about it because they know actually you're the one that made the mistake. If you just own it, hey, you guys, I'm so sorry. My bad. What do we need to do? What do I need to do to make this right?
Yeah.
People will move on from it and forget it, and then you're all done with it.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand that. So
I wish people more would understand it, especially people in a leadership position, or so I think that's why we're here too.
Yes.
It's giving the tips.
yes,
you
giving
know.
the tips.
But
Own it.
own it, just
Apologize,
own it.
move on. You'll be
in big bold
fine.
letters, just own what you did. That's
Right.
move on.
Right.
Yeah, or it
And-
could be a T-shirt.
Absolutely. And always apologize, right? Let's
Absolutely.
be gracious. Let's apologize for the mistake and then move on.
Yeah. So I have a question, because you are in this position where you handle, every department in this location, or in anywhere that you're working in. And what would you do what have you done, or how have you approached a situation where you're coming in and the team's already here, the team's already built, someone else built it, and now you're coming in as the new person putting a new structure in place, right? And someone's just not open to change, one of the staff members, and it's from anywhere,
Right.
anywhere in general. How would you approach that situation if someone's just doesn't want to make changes? They think they're doing everything just right.
Right. So this happens all across the country. When I get called in, here's the problem. And whoever's calling me in, whether it's ownership or the execs at the hotel, they'll give me the background on what's going on, the reason why I'm being called in, right? And I like to go in and speak to everyone involved. So I'll do a one-to-one with everyone who's in the department, right?
Okay.
And just get their information and their take on what's going on.
Okay.
So I have a better understanding, because a lot of times the execs probably think they know what's going on, but maybe they don't, because they're not really in the trenches, taking care of it, right? And so when I speak with everyone and I hear things, I always say, I'm not going to try and correct you immediately. I want to speak with everyone. I want to observe.
Assess.
I really want to see what's happening before I make suggestions. But then sometimes you see something and you're like, I know I just met you and we just started talking for 20 minutes, but I'm going to have to make a suggestion right away, right? And when I speak with people, I'm very gracious about it. I always tell people, I'm not here to take your job.
Okay.
I'm here to make you better at what you do. You're already great. That's why you're here. I'm here to make you better. And so when I'm giving advice, and especially when you're getting information from everybody involved, like, this is the person who's the problem, right? And then you see it with your own eyes. First thing I need to do is inform whoever has hired me, right?
Right.
I've gone in, I've assessed the situation. Here's the issue. This is my recommendation on how to handle it. What would you like to do? This is so important, and what I found in my career is that people mix this up all the time. If you're having a problem with anyone on any level in a department, people feel we better discipline them. We better get them out of here.
I've heard that one.
That's like the wrong approach. It's really called progressive discipline, right? The first thing I'm going to do is speak with you and make sure you understand what it is you're supposed to be doing, right? Because maybe you don't. Maybe you didn't have your SOPs. Maybe you didn't sign off on your job description, right? And so we're going to help you get to the right point, right? So now that we've done that and we're clear and we also have you sign off on it, now you understand your job description and what's expected. Now you understand the SOP, the standard operating procedure, how to do your job. Now we're on the same playing field.
Okay.
Before we weren't, because when I come in, I don't know if you were trained. I don't know what information you were given, so I have to give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't just come in and go, yeah, you're not doing a good job. You're out of here.
You're going to give them the tools first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. And then the manager has to observe and manage and hold them accountable.
Right.
So if they do something wrong again, okay, no problem. Maybe you didn't understand that. Let me help you with that again. And then if they're still not getting it, perhaps it's not the right job for them. But it's having candid conversations.
Yeah.
And a lot of managers do not have candid conversations. They're afraid to, or they don't know how to. And so it's about really communicating.
Yeah.
Natasha, I know we have you in this position. We've talked about this a couple of times. The steps, you're not following the steps, and I'm trying to understand what it is. Do you not understand them? Is it a little bit too much for you? Share with me why you think this is happening, and really having a conversation. And maybe you're just in the wrong position in the company.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to flourish somewhere else. There's a book called Good to Great that I absolutely love.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the gist of the book, right? You might be in the wrong seat on the bus, right? Yep. And so sometimes if we just move you in a different seat, you're going to be fine, you're going to excel, you're going to grow, and you're going to be wonderful, right? And then there's also, it says in the book, you might need to be removed from the bus too, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll make the recommendation after speaking with everyone involved in the department, saying this person just, maybe we should try moving them to another seat, or you know what, unfortunately,
might have to.
It's not working. I think we're going to have to move them off the bus.
Oh, wow. That's a good approach. I like that approach,
right?
Actually. That should be the approach. Absolutely.
It should be. You should just evaluate it, you know?
Not just go straight into, just...
We need to get this person
done.
out of here. Well, why?
Yeah.
Like, tell me a little. Well, because they keep messing up. Why do they keep messing up?
Right.
Have we set clear expectations?
Do they know their role?
Right. We can't just kick somebody out. So there's an approach.
That wouldn't be fair at all either.
Wouldn't be fair.
That's a great approach. Thank you. I'm learning a lot.
Okay. All right, great.
And speaking of how good to great book, your book.
Yay!
Yeah. So your book is when did you write this book and when did you release it?
I wrote this book. I think it came out in 2019.
2019, and it's 101 ways to stop losing your customers. Deliver 5-star service at any level.
Correct.
And so when did this come about? When did you have now this light bulb moment? I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to write a book especially for what I do and for the reader to benefit from it.
I thought writing a book would be a great way to share knowledge. People write books about their life experience all the time, right? And I thought, I want to write a book to help people. I can't turn it off. Whenever I go to a restaurant, I'm watching everything, right? From the time, did someone say hello and greet me? When I sat down, how long did it take someone to come over and just say hello and perhaps drop menus and offer to take a drink order? When I'm shopping, yes, I love to shop. When I'm shopping and you have representatives from the store just behind the counter talking to each other and not assisting people on the floor, or a long line has backed up. I know this has happened to everyone. When you're in line and the line is super long and there's one person, everybody starts looking around.
Oh,
and then
yes.
you make friends with the people in the line, and you're looking, they need another person, right?
Guilty. I'm so guilty of that.
But we all do that, right? And so we all, and I'm just thinking, and then everybody's talking about it, and I'm probably the one in line who says to the person, "Excuse me, do you think you can call another colleague to come out and assist us?" Right? And like maybe to take some pressure off of that person,
one
right?
person
She has a long line.
Yeah.
She can see the upset faces.
Yeah.
And the other thing she probably should have done is says, "I'm so sorry about the wait. We will be with you shortly," right? Acknowledge and let people know that you see
So
them.
everywhere you go, you are
Yes.
assessing the
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
I mean, even on vacation, I'm assuming that you stay at a lovely hotel.
I can't
and
help
you're
it.
just assessing the situation. Yeah.
I can't help it. When you ask for something at the front desk, or if you need directions, you'll see how helpful people will be. I'm all about being of service, being helpful.
Yes.
And I think that when you're in hospitality, you should automatically get that. And unfortunately, a lot of people who work in hospitality are not very hospitable.
And that's when
I
was
started
one.
writing the book. Yes, yes. And so what I did, it's 101 scenarios of situations that went wrong.
Okay.
And then I rate them, and then I talk about what should have happened.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do in the book. And it's really a funny, sarcastic book, but you still can learn a lot from it.
Yeah, I'm actually very intrigued, especially, I mean, towards the end, but I love that it's deliver the 5-star service at any level.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
And this scenario is actually in the book. So I go to church every Sunday, and then we have a little group. We're not going to call ourselves a clique, but we're a little group. And we go out and we have breakfast or brunch. And so we decided to go to a diner. And we're at the diner, and we all order, I order my green tea, they order their coffee. And my friend receives his mug with the coffee with a couple of those creamers. And I must have made a face unbeknownst to me. And my friend looked at me and he said, "Calm down. We're not at one of your 5-star hotels." And I said, "Why are you telling me to calm down? He ordered coffee. She gave him creamer. He has no spoon. Are you telling me that you only get a spoon if you're in a 5-star place? That's not true. There's basic service that you should get at any level.
Anything.
Any level.
Yes.
So then we get all of our breakfast entrees, and we all have toast. Like I have toast, someone has an English muffin, yada, yada, yada. We all have something, and there are no jams delivered. And it's like, come on, we're having breakfast. Everyone who gets toast, the jams are automatically offered. No matter whether or not they're going to be used, you should never have to ask for them. That, I don't know why people think, oh, that's 5-star service. That's just basic service.
Right.
And so I think having those conversations over the years, I just think that people need to understand it's 5-star service at any level. It's just giving people what they need.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would only expect that if you were
No,
at some high-end
I see what
restaurant.
you're saying too, especially, coming from, like, let's talk about small businesses, right? Small businesses compared to big corporate companies, right? And I just love that one day someone just said to me, you know, even though we're small businesses, we should make decisions and act like as if we're already this Fortune 500 company. And that just resonated with me so much because I said, well, yeah, why just having the label, let's say, of a small business, which is not about, first of all, it's not a little label. It's right. And it's deliver 5-star service at any level, deliver the best of you at any level, whether it's a client who's coming in and doing a very, very minimal service, very tiny service, or it's someone, a big, you know, high roller who's giving you who's doing the works, right? And I absolutely agree with that. So that's why that one resonated with me so well, because it's so true. I think you should always give the best of yourself to anybody. You know, the same way you treat, you know, the janitor is the same exact way you're going to treat, you know, the CEO of the company. And I know we said it many times, but that is very true. It's actually something that my father instilled in me very much is that, like, you treat everybody with complete respect. I don't care what their label is. I don't care what their job title is. And I think this is so important.
I love what you just said. I was doing an event at one hotel, and this was one of my favorite events. There was no A-lister performing. There were not A-listers at the party. That's not what made it my favorite event. I put together a playlist. I didn't really do a lot of work. I just selected a perfect playlist. We had the guests. We had great food. And I was walking around the party, as one should do if you put on an event.
Yes.
And I was watching everyone in conversations, and they were just bobbing their heads. And you could tell, right?
Yeah.
They've got a good vibe going on.
Yeah.
I was watching the team tray pass appetizers, and they were just bopping their heads. And I thought, everybody is in good energy right now. This is a great party.
Yes.
And something had dropped on the floor, probably a cocktail napkin, and I picked it up. And, you know, guests can tell, like, who's a manager or a leader or a director on property and who our other team members are, because they're dressed differently. And the person said to me, oh, why are you picking that up? Why don't you have, you know, one of your servers pick it up?
Staff members.
And I immediately said, without skipping a beat, I can pick trash up better than anybody I know. And I picked it up and I said, have a great day. And I moved on. And I thought, we're all part of the team. Absolutely. Why on earth would I not pick up a cocktail napkin that must have like just dropped off of a tray or something like that?
Yeah.
How simple. It was so easy. But I believe we're all part of the team.
And when they see you do that, it speaks volumes. I mean, your actions say so much more than anything else.
Absolutely.
Too. And I love
totally
that.
Agree.
Totally
agree.
That's cool.
But
that's
one
badass.
of the best parties. Everyone. I
mean, because you're can you share that playlist with me? Please?
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, that's awesome. So this book is since 2019, and it's been the first book, right? This was the first book that you did. When's the second book?
You know what? I'm inspired to put together a second book. So while the book, a third of it is on hotels, a third of it is on restaurants, and a third of it is on retail, right? Because I love to shop. And the thing about customer service, it expands across all industries. It's not just in hotels. It's everywhere. And so sometimes I think, should I do 3 more industries? But every time I'm in hotels, I'm amazed at the things that happen. And I think I have enough, I can just write again on the same 3 that are here. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm excited.
But yeah, I think it might be fun.
Yeah, I think so. I think you should.
I'll have to do.
Yeah, please. And then we'll just, you still have to sign this one for me, actually.
Absolutely will. I will.
Let me go get my pen right now.
Yes.
So this is great. And then one more thing that I definitely want to talk about really quick is that you are also a speaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you will speak at just public events, private
anywhere.
events.
I was lucky enough to speak at one hotel's annual sales conference. So I come in and I talk about customer service, and that people need to understand that there's so many stats on customer service. All you have to do is Google 2024 customer service stats, any year actually, and you will see you can increase your revenues when you have great customer service.
Absolutely.
And I think sometimes managing directors and owners forget about that, right? When they're putting together their budgets. And if you follow me on any social media, you'll see my posts, right? It'll say you can increase revenues by 4 to 8% if you invest time in training your employees, right?
Absolutely.
And I, and I ask, is this in your revenue growth plan? Right?
Good one.
Because people forget that.
Yes.
And when everyone is delivering great service, you will get your repeat customers. People don't understand. There's another stat that explains that it costs more money to go out and find a new client rather than just
retaining a client.
A client. And so how do you retain them? You retain them with great service.
Absolutely. Yeah. I
and
absolutely. That one resonates so much with me. That's a really, really important thing. So when you go into public speaking, you really emphasize on
the importance
that is
of
the importance,
training.
The importance or the lifeline, really, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that people really need to understand that in their businesses, how important customer service training is. And, I tell people it's not about, oh yeah, I came in February and now you're good for 5 years. It's like, no, you should probably have trainings minimum twice a year. Hopefully you're having them once a quarter, but it's whatever that works for the client.
That would be your recommendation, though, if
Absolutely.
you came in anywhere. You would
every
say
quarter, and here's the reason why, right? I always believe in explaining the why.
Absolutely.
It's because people come and go all the time. You get new employees coming in all the time. So you need to take them through the training, right? If you only do your trainings twice a year or once a year, what about all the
new people, and you want everyone
employees?
synchronized on
Absolutely.
the same thing that you're training them on.
Absolutely.
That's really
because I know, for instance, if you were to come into the restaurant, what I have trained is that I should engage with you, number one, right?
Yes.
And I need to ask, I should check in. How is the product, right? So the product may be, if you're a hotel guest, how is your room? If you're not a hotel guest, how is the food? I need to check the service, right? How are my colleagues treating you? Is everything going well, right? And then I need to see your experience and see, you know what? If everything's going well, this is great. But if it's not, I now have the opportunity to make it a great experience.
Yeah.
But if I don't engage and ask these questions, how will I know whether or not you're having a great experience? Yeah. And a lot of things I tell owners is that a lot of people will just leave. There's a percentage on how many people who have a bad experience will just leave and they won't tell anybody. Yeah. But if your team is engaging and checking in with everybody, you're going to know.
Yeah, you intercept it before.
Absolutely.
And you will find the root.
Absolutely.
Right?
And unfortunately, in a lot of hotels, they think to ask that as you're checking out. And that's not the time, because that's actually too late.
That is so true. Oh, that's a great note.
It's too late.
Yeah.
All of your team members are supposed to be engaging throughout the stay. Yeah. So if you're checking out and you say something like, oh, my room was hot the entire time I was here. It was just awful.
It's too late. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to give you a credit on your bill. Do you think that person's going to return? No, they're going to go someplace where they know the air conditioning will probably
because
work.
it's already just at that point, just like, no, I'm not in a good mood either. So doesn't matter what you give me. I
Right.
mean, yeah,
Right.
bottle of champagne. Why? I'm leaving. So that's a really great note. And so public speaking is really fun for you because you get to just
Share knowledge.
everything that you've seen, that you've experienced.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. I
Yes.
definitely would love. Have you ever filmed one of your speeches?
No, I haven't.
Gotta do
You know what?
that.
I have to go back. I think one of the organizations did film. So I have to
Okay.
go back. I just love getting in and talking to people. And then after it was over, everybody came up and they were asking questions. And, what about this? And what do you do about this? And what do you do
Oh,
about
they gave
that?
you all of all the scenarios.
Yes. I'm like, keep going. You're just giving me more scenarios. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So it was good stuff.
That is really good stuff. So for now, we're so early into the year, but what does the rest of 2024 look like for you? What are your goals for the next year?
So my goals are, believe it or not, to do a TEDx talk. Yeah. I want to reach even more people, right? And probably start filming like some of my upcoming speaking
Yes.
engagements, because that way I can put those out there. So
Yeah, I would love
just to reach more people and share knowledge. I believe that when people are spending their money, they should be treated with respect and they should have great service. And so how do we get everybody on board? You know, when I train, I tell team members, when you deliver better service, you get better tips. Like, this is a win-win situation for
Right.
everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not only will it increase revenues at the hotel or the restaurant, the customer is happy, the owners are happy, the team members are happy.
Right.
We're just creating good energy.
It's a win-win-win. Everyone wants
Absolutely.
to have a piece of it, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's the dynamic. So the goal for 2024 would be to TED
Just
Talk.
definitely, and also just to reach more people. You know,
You know, I was going to ask. So you are open to all anywhere.
all industry.
I mean, all
All
over the
industries.
world.
Yes,
You would,
absolutely.
You're
I travel.
Yeah,
I travel.
Yeah, it's not just LA. You're
No,
everywhere.
no, all across the country.
Yeah,
it's
that's-
great.
That is really cool. So that's a good note. I wanted to emphasize on that.
Yes, and so another goal would be to go international, which
Yes.
I already might be, but you know, that's already in the works.
So that,
yes.
next year we'll do another one, and
And you'll see all the
we're gonna.
fabulous places that I've been. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I'm excited. I would love to do this. I mean, I would love to actually revisit and like in a year from now
Oh, absolutely.
do another one and see what you accomplished in 2024 and everything else that
Oh, I
you've
would
learned.
love
So,
to
yeah.
do that. I would love to do that. I look at different industries and I think, oh, I could help you guys so much.
Ah, yeah. So
But you know, people have to be willing to understand customer service is important to us. We're going to spend a little money to make it happen. And we're going to do this.
And-
They,
yeah.
they have to be willing to do that first.
yeah, they have to
really
be
do.
willing to put the work in too. I think, right? It's about, it's not just like it's not just one, it's the other. It's that it all has to be.
It all comes together, and it's good for them, you know, in the long run.
Yeah.
And I love doing it.
It
I love
it
to be
shows.
the one to do that. And so if everybody's already busy with what they're doing on property or in the company, call me in and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then they don't
And you're
have to
really
worry
good
about
at
it.
it, and you're
Yes.
calm, cool, collected with doing
Yes,
it.
and it's
Yeah, and it
fun.
all started from swimming
I know,
lessons.
I know. It's
That makes
great.
sense. At 11 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
much fun.
you've had the hustle in you since you were a kid.
I think so.
Yeah.
Very independent, helping others. I think
In a
is
place to
just what's
serve,
in
I
me.
think is
Yes.
really the place where I think all success comes from. Like real success, I think is just coming from a place to serve. And I think that's what you've shown since the beginning is that you're
love
always
to
there.
be of service.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
That's amazing.
And I think it's on me. I will shop in Target and I'm not wearing red or tan. I'm wearing my regular clothes and people will literally come up and say, "Do you know where this is?" And I thought, why are they asking me? And then the funny thing about it is I actually know
You'll
where
know
it is.
where it
They're
is.
looking for it,
And
I tell
Target's
them.
like-
But it's so weird. But people do in department stores. Like people will
You
come
have
up to
this-
me.
this
I
energy.
don't know.
I think it's the energy.
it
It's
has
the
to be
energy
the
that you have
energy.
the answers. Or
Because I'm not
you'll-
dressed with a name tag or anything
Yeah.
like that, and people will just stop me and ask. Do
Wow,
you
that
know where
says a
this
lot.
is?
That speaks volumes.
So I think it has to be my aura. My
It's your
energy,
aura.
Something. It's all good.
Well, oh my gosh, this was to me this was like a masterclass on just how you treat people, how you train, how you just communicate with humans. And I think that's
how
so
businesses can increase their revenue
absolutely.
by
I
delivering
mean,
great customer service.
yeah, it's resonated with me so much too, especially when you hit a note of saying, sometimes, especially like executives or even just owners, sometimes we're just in the back now, just administrating, just going through all the other stuff, and we're not in the trenches anymore. We're not in the sales. We're not in the front greeting customers. We're not, so sometimes we lose sight of it and we forget.
Absolutely.
And it affects business. I mean, it's happened to me. Absolutely. I'll be the first to say that I've done that. I've done that. I've just been in the back, been in my office, just consumed by everything else. And then I forget. And then my staff will come and tell me, it's just, this person and this person and this person. And I'm like, huh. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying because I'm not even in the front with you. I have no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
And so it's about kind of and removing yourself and going back in the trenches sometimes. And I've done that where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back up there and I'm going to go see what's going on and really try to understand everyone.
Did you do it like undercover boss? Were
No,
you disguised?
no. Oh, no, not at all. You know what I did? I'm not really in my office anymore, and I'm actually up there and watching the girls. And then I go up and I'll go do a sale, and I will be there. And I think what you just did and what you just said about how you just picked up the napkin, and it's the action. And when someone sees you do it, they will do it, and they'll do it even want to do it better. And me just going up to the front and attending a customer and doing a sale or just doing, just treating them so well with respect and, excellent customer service. My other girl is right next to me watching it and being like,
and she's
wow.
also learning and she's observing and she's
Yeah.
watching you do the sale. And you better believe when she does the next sale, she's going to mimic things that she saw with
she
you.
picks up little things, and I think
Absolutely.
I think it's necessary.
It
Absolutely, it's to never lose sight of that. Customer service it's absolutely everything to me.
It is. I would agree with that. And I can share with you when I've done trainings, especially in companies that don't do a lot of training, the employees are so happy to get together.
Yeah.
They just start talking because now they feel they're being heard. And now they get to speak. Well, we don't have this and we're running out of this and we don't have this. And I always take notes in every training I do. And I always go back to my client and I share, I think the training went well. They were very engaged. And here are some of the things they brought up. And the client will say, what? They don't have, you've got to be kidding me. They don't have that. And it's because we're not in touch with our team members.
Yeah. Synchronicity. You got to always be in sync.
Yeah.
So,
So
oh man,
a lot of good
I could
comes
keep
out of the
talking for
training.
hours.
I know. I can talk about hospitality all day long. I love it.
know. But this was so enlightening. I think people are going to love it. I already know people are going to love this episode and take notes. I want people to rewatch the episode and take notes because this was so enlightening. And I really want to do this again.
Yes. Absolutely. And if they have any questions, they can always reach out to me.
Yes.
I'm on social media.
medias,
I'm out there.
website, everything.
Yes.
We'll attach everything onto that. And thank you so much for being here.
I enjoyed talking with you. I did. And it's so funny to be here at one of my clients' beautiful hotels and just to sit down. Right?
I love how I was like, can we sit there, please? Can we set up here? Because that is so
picture.
beautiful.
Yes.
And I think, royalty. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hollywood royalty.
So elegant.
That's
I know.
Great. But yeah, we'll definitely got to capture everything that this hotel offers because it's so beautiful, elegant too. And you feel like an old Hollywood vibe. I do. I love that.
That's excellent. And I hope everyone continues to deliver great customer service to you while you're here.
They will. Okay. They will.
All right.
Because you trained them.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. That was Lightbulbs with Natasha with Vivian Campbell from Vivian Campbell Consulting. We learned so much. I know I learned so much from this episode, and I'm took mental notes, and I'm so excited for this to air. Please be sure to subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts, and please follow Vivian on her social medias. Find her.
Yeah.
She will teach you way more than I could ever teach you. And thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.